Okay, for this video, I'm going to run through how I start my assessment process. So first I go to the coursework and I just kind of do a quick glance. In this course, there's 5 outcomes, so I'm just doing a glance through here to see what I have marked. So I have 1 for outcome 1, outcome 3 has 2 assignments, outcome 4 has 2, outcome 5 has 1, and then outcome 2 has 1. So now I'm going to my assessment tab, and I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick look here. You can go into the individual assignments, of course, but here I just want to make sure that this should tell me real quick if things are correct. So this shows me that yes, there's 1 here for outcome 1, 1 assignment, and that looks right. And then outcome 2, there's 1, that looks like it was correct. Outcome 3, here's the 2 assignments. Outcome 4 had 2, and those are linked. And then outcome 5. And I'm ready to get started with my assessments. So what I do is just start with not the section report, but just the individual outcomes. Then I'll kind of grasp more from that information. These, of course, don't have to be put off until the end of the semester. You can do these as they come along. Ideally, I would like to do that, and then maybe have some supplemental assignments for when students are not meeting the expectations. So right here, we know our target mean is 80. We actually met that. When we take out the students that didn't do the assignment, it's actually 96.3. So in the narrative, I always try to bring up what I did from the prior year to see what changes I may have decided to do. In this case, last year, students met the outcome, and we were planning to use it again this year. So I just, in my narrative, you just need to make sure that whatever you enter here, that you save and continue once you are done. So now moving on to the next one. And that went ahead and populated outcome 2. We can see here that even though the actual mean was low, it was close once we took out the students that did not attempt to complete the assignment. So now we need to go in and see, last year the students did relatively well in this assignment. So now would be a time when I would go back and look and see what factors caused the students to not do as well on this assignment. So I went out and looked at the assignment and what the grades were. And so I added a note in here that the students that didn't do exceptionally well appeared to have just kind of given a half-hearted one-sentence answer. So I went ahead and updated the instructions to be more specific, for full credit, and mentioned that previously the outcome was met at 93. So at this time, I'm not going to make any further changes, but that's what I'm expressing, how I'm addressing that low outcome score. So this outcome had 2 assignments, and without the students that got zeros, it was met at 90. So I just included a note that this outcome included the chapter information on registries as well as their outside research when they completed their forum post, and that no further changes are planned at this time. For outcome 4, the students did meet the target excluding zeros, and I stated that in my narrative. I also stated that some additional narrative for the secondary validation tool was included and improved the assessment target mean from the previous semesters. That happened to be an assignment that I've really struggled to help students understand what the expectation is, and it's really probably been several semesters of trying to revamp that, and this time it seemed to be successful. So we'll move on to outcome 5. So this assignment I find valuable for the students. It kind of gives them the perspective of where we've been in the paper format going into electronic. So my narrative here is just the actual mean, excluding the zeros, was met on the assignment, which involves the article review and assessment. So no changes are planned at this time. So that is our last outcome assessment. So now we're at the section report. So in this course, we do not do a pre and post test. So I don't have anything to put in here. That sometimes works well, like for the coding classes, to kind of get a baseline of their coding knowledge before and after. So the next box is about what specific changes were made in the previous semesters that affected the student learning this semester. How do they influence the student learning? This is sometimes not easy to understand, I guess. The wording is a little off. In this case, I just put that there was no significant changes that were made in the previous semester to affect the current learning. But I did just kind of want to note that we did have some revisions to the instructions that appeared to help, especially in that one assignment, and that we also, with those registry assignments, added some additional coursework to help understand the importance of the registries, and also that it kind of got into another career option that they may not have been aware of. The next box is what additional resources are needed to help with student learning in this course. And I just state there's no further resources that are requested to assist with student learning at this time, and we'll continue to explore additional learning formats. I have researched maybe using some MindTap text here in this course, but I haven't made that decision yet. Explain the significant circumstances that may have impacted the mean score. This is where I like to put, we didn't have, sometimes for whatever reason, those assignments students don't complete, and as much as we try to encourage that, it happens. And so I just like to mention that not all the students participated in the assignments that tied out to those outcomes. And what recommendations do you have for scheduling modality or revising of this course? Of course, if you have any concerns, I would hope that you would bring those to my attention. But certainly here is where, especially, you have a great idea, please share it. I noted that this is the first time this course has been offered in only one semester in the academic year, and I would like to continue that with our low enrollment. This just made it so much easier than having 3 students in the class, where at least there was more opportunity for instructor to student interaction, but also student to student. And then you want to make sure that after you've saved all your pages, that you save your section report. So you should be able to see here your status is in progress, in progress, in progress. So when you have everything the way you like it, you need to hit finalize report. Keep in mind that once you do that, there's no going back. And there's a little warning box that's going to tell you that. In this case, I'm going to have to go through and finalize all the outcomes first. You have to wait for those little boxes to populate. It will show you as time goes on which ones are finalized in the system. So you certainly cannot get credit for completing your outcomes assessments on time until the system records that everything is finalized. And once that's all done, you are considered to have met your obligations of your contract. And I would print out a copy and keep it for next semester, just as a way to kind of remember what you had in mind to make improvements. And hopefully you'll be able to do those throughout the semester and not wait till the end, as happens with some of us.